Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of One Piece Weekly, where we discuss the latest One Piece chapter. Today, I have myself, Ponley, and Chris. And today, we'll be discussing chapter 1002, Emperors versus the New Generation. How did you guys find the chapter overall?
I mean, I thought it was quite action-packed. I feel like there was quite a lot of combat, maybe a bit more combat than we're used to in chapters in more recent years, I could say. But yeah, there's quite a lot of fighting. I wouldn't say there's much development in terms of story, but I feel like there's been a bit of progression in this chapter with certain characters' development and how we look at them and perceive them.
Yeah, as Chris said, it was quite an action-packed chapter, so it's just really just continuation. This is like the big fight with the worst generation versus the two of the emperors. So yeah, it was just a continuation. As Chris said as well, we saw some character development because some characters we've not really seen much since the time skip, for example, of what they not giving them a lot of limelight. So for example, Zoro, they've given a bit more to Zoro, showed him a bit more, so we know Zoro's strong, we just don't know what he's capable of. So it's good to see some things like that. Battle goes on really, and it'll be interesting to see how this battle, continues.
Anyway, so in the chapter 1002, we start off with Kaido using destructive wind towards the new generation. And one of the things that happens during that is that Kid's, pieces of junk gets hit and gets removed from his body, or is no longer usable as it looks like. And he comes out with a statement, big deal, it's just made of junk anyway. To me personally, so far, Kid hasn't done that much during the time on the roof. We've seen stuff from Killer, Zoro, Law, and Luffy, and Kid for me has been the least impressive, and it's quite a shame because I was really looking forward to see what Kid was able to do. What do you guys think of Kid's contribution so far, and do you expect to be for Oda to write some more stuff in for him?
Yeah, I feel quite similarly. Kid is, I mean, out of the three of them, he was one of the ones that I think he was one who's touted to be the most fearsome.
Yeah.
He had the biggest bounty when he was first introduced out of the supernovas of the worst generation.
So yeah, he we obviously expected to see quite major things from him from a battle perspective. I don't think we've really seen anything major throughout his entire time in One Piece. I mean, he's had a couple moments here and there, but nothing really too that stands out anywhere close to the level of even Trafalgar Law, let alone Luffy.
Yep.
I feel like he's still got like a couple gears to go up. I feel like he will show what his abilities can do at their max, because currently it seems the way the manga is making his abilities seem quite limited.
He had the highest bounty of them all when they were first introduced. But I've not really seen much from Kid yet, and I still think. Well, I'm hoping Oda will show more, because I feel, because of how he was, shown with his bounty and stuff, and that he's got a lot off his sleeve. But as we've seen so far, we haven't seen much really to make us feel that this guy is actually super strong himself, like on levels with Luffy, Law, etc. But I'm hoping Oda, because Oda is quite good character development. I'm hoping we will see more from Kid. After all, Kid has also got Emperor's Haki as well. So yeah, I'm just expecting to see more, and hopefully Oda will show us more, in due time.
But yeah, anyways, after Kaido does the destructive wind attack, we see some of the worst generation either dodge it or deflect it in Zoro's case, and then they'll all launch another attack on Kaido. And then we get this scene with Killer using Sonic Scythe on Kaido, and then during the whole scene, Big Mom had to intervene using Indra to attack Killer and render him useless for the time being. So from chapter 1000 so obviously chapter 1000, 1001, and now chapter 1002, we've had commentary or evolvement from Big Mom in regards to the fight with Kaido. Kaido did mention in fact chapter 1001 that he didn't want her to be involved. So I don't necessarily know what it means for the fact that she's constantly getting herself involved. We later see her telling Kaido to dodge a certain attack. So I'm not exactly too sure. I can't see he's getting involved, even though Kaido told her not to. Is she worried about what could be happening to him? Is she a bit fearful? Does she feel like he definitely needs help or he's going to lose this fight? What are you guys' thought on that?
Yeah, I definitely feel like she's having concerns now, and rightfully so, because
Kaido did mention that they can count his durability. He did mention that, actually.
Yeah.
In the chapter, so yeah, that's probably as well.
Yeah, so for example, for a guy who traditionally takes no damage and struggles to bear any injury, it's saying something already for these guys to be able to hurt him this early on in the fight. I don't feel like they're near their max limits. I don't think they're particularly tiring at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So yeah, rightfully so. Big Mom is having to get involved with protecting Kaido in a sense, and even giving him alerts when Zoro was about to attack him. Do you know what I mean? So I think it does. It's more from a characterization standpoint. Oda's basically slowly trying to show us that this guy is beatable, that this guy can be taken down, and I think eventually he will be, and it'll be interesting to see how it's done.
Yeah, speaking of Zoro's attack, as Chris mentioned it, after she does use Indra to attack Killer, obviously Kaido sees that Killer's been injured. Kaido's about to attack Killer, and then Luffy intervenes. But as he does that, Kaido's ready to attack Luffy as well. And then we get the scene with Zoro and Law, with Zoro demanding Law to throw him up in the air, give me a boost. And Law is vexed. I'm not a babysitter. As I do thoroughly enjoy the comedic scenes when in moments like this that I feel like Oda does really well, just adding some sort of comedy during tense scenes. But yeah, so what I was getting to is that we get the scene with Zoro just above Kaido, ready to use Enma, and then like Chris mentioned with Big Mom shouting Kaido dodge right before Zoro's attack, which he does eventually miss. My question is, how much damage do you think that would have caused Kaido if it actually hit him?
It's hard to say. But I think when you consider the fact that, you know, the amount of people that have been able to harm him, maybe not grave injuries in some cases, but when you consider everyone who's managed to inflict damage upon him, and you just consider the manner in which Big Mom has warned him about this attack, I feel like, I mean, it wouldn't have killed him,
but I think it would have done major damage.
It would have done major lasting damage throughout the fight, and I feel it would have been damage that would have been to an extent where it would affect him throughout the rest of the fight. So it wouldn't be something that he could just quickly recover from, like when he was fighting some of the other guys earlier on. I think it would have done quite a bit of damage to him. Who knows, man?
Yeah, as Chris said, it is tough to call, but because, you know, Kaido usually, he's not ever been warned to dodge moves before, so he usually just takes moves head on. It may, as you see, may affect him somewhat, but he's still going because his durability is so huge. But the way Big Mom shouted dodge, this one like even gave her, like, made her shook. So I do feel it would have done major damage. Don't know how much, but yeah, I feel it would have done some major damage to him. I was gonna say as well, the fact that it oozed off Odin as well. Yeah. And Odin is the only one that's given Kaido that scar.
Yeah, it'll be hard to predict exactly how damaging it could be, considering that we actually haven't seen Zoro use Enma on somebody, just on objects or land. But But yeah, good point on the Odin stuff. Maybe he would have done similar damage to what Odin did and potentially scarred him. But I guess hopefully maybe we'll find out at some point. Okay, so moving on after also another point is that I mentioned this to Ponle earlier. I think this might be the first time I've seen Kaido dodge an attack, unless I'm mistaken. Because usually he takes attacks head on. I remember somebody mentioned that he's just highly suicidal. That's why he does it. It's because he doesn't really care to live or die. As he's pointed out before, where he's attempted to commit suicide several times and never happened, and perhaps that's the reason why he takes attacks head on. So it's very surprising that he decided to dodge this one, or maybe Zoro just missed. He wasn't able to control Emma. Maybe Zoro just missed, and Kaido didn't actually dodge. It's hard to tell on manga panels. Maybe we'll get confirmation in the next chapter or two. But yeah, coming towards the end of the chapter, we now have Big Mom using Heavenly Domain, Shiva's Wrath, where she pretty much electrocuted the whole roof with lightning and using Indra. Obviously, we knew from the past that lightning doesn't affect Luffy, but then we get Kaido attacking Luffy with blast breath, but somehow Luffy it hits Luffy head on, but somehow he's still there. I don't know if it's fine or not, but he's still there, and he still manages to counter with Kong Gatling, which is a bit surprising and confusing. I would have thought an attack like that would have pushed Luffy back at least. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I did think that was a bit confusing. Obviously, we were very aware that Thunder is a major, trope in the One Piece series because of the fight with NL. So it's something that we knew. That's something that doesn't need much explanation. With the fire, I'm not sure what he gave as an answer in the translations you read. I think he said something like it was like grit.
I got guts on my one when Kaido asked him, "Is this a trick?" He goes, "Nope, guts."
But I think the fact that he says guts is what's confusing.
It's a bit weird.
To me.
It's a bit weird for me because I could have argued because he's got Arno and Haki as well all around him or something. I
think that
know.
excuse would have held up if it was just a regular opponent, not Kaido.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is Kaido is an emperor, so it's a bit funny one.
But considering what Kaido said, what fire isn't effective either, is this a trick? It seems like he, even though he might look a bit blackened by the flames, it doesn't look like it stopped his stride at all. From the way that Kaido's reacting, it doesn't seem like it looked like it physically damaged him.
It'll be interesting to see the next chapter anyway, because I need my fix now.
What do you think is going to happen next?
Right now, the whole place is moving, isn't it? It's in the sky. I wonder they're going to go and check in the other straw hats, etc., see what's going on underneath and the floors underneath.
One thing that I found interesting at the beginning of this chapter is that I know at the end of the last chapter that's when he turned into a dragon, but they kind of covered like his bottom half, because obviously we know that he uses flame clouds to make himself fly. And he's also using flame clouds to hold up Onigashima.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how much he's able to, because when he lifted up last time, he done it after he finished the fight and he was back in his human form. So I wonder how long he's able to hold up the island, hold up himself, and fight also. Because I'm assuming if he's able to hold up a whole island, it must take a bit away from him. I would like to think so.
I'm just going by him being an emperor. It may not be that bad for him.
It may not be that bad, but it must be something that has to give. I don't know how he's able to carry a whole island, carry himself, and still be able to fight at full strength.
I think they're showing vulnerabilities in Kaido, and they're showing a bit of fear in Big Mom, because we need to see the demise of one of them soon, just in the sense of how they're making them feel a bit more human than normal. It just makes me think like, okay, Oda's preparing to have one of these characters die on us essentially very soon. I do feel like there will be conversely another major character that will experience death in this arc. I don't know who, and it's hard to say at this moment in time, but I do feel like someone's on the balance of things. If you're going to let go of Kaido, you can't kill Kaido and get off scot-free. We haven't had a death. I feel like there needs to be some sort of balance.
Yeah.
We haven't had a death to kind of counteract the fact that you're taking down the most powerful beast.
Yeah, but the thing, Oda is notoriously known for not killing off characters, which is probably his biggest fault, or I find, anyways. We did have a character death in Pedro.
Not big enough.
Yeah. No, I
Need a
agree.
bigger character.
I completely agree, especially for something like
I don't even know if I'm trying to think about the 9 scabbards if they're gonna be.
Bro, they should have died. I'm sorry, but they should be dead. The scabbards. When went to
I think they may
before.
come back into the. They could always. I don't. They may be.
No,
They could come back.
They can't come back into the fight. I'm sorry.
I feel like someone major.
I just feel. I feel they may come back and sacrifice themselves or something. I don't know, man.
Do you know what it is with me though? I feel like
one of them to die.
Yeah, I feel like Kaido is, because when was the last time we had a villain of Kaido's caliber?
We haven't, not a One Piece.
That's the thing. I don't think we've had a villain really of Kaido, apart from like the admirals. Kaido's someone who's been referenced from very early on in the series.
Yeah.
So we've known about him for a long time, and he's a very, very big part of the pirate world ecosystem.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're gonna kill off someone of this level,
it's gonna be reverberations across the. Yeah. It's gonna be major reverberations across.
It's like, for example, for me, it's like killing one of the admirals, and then nobody else is taken as a casualty in the pursuit of that. It just doesn't really make much sense. So I do
agree with you, Chris. There needs to be we need another. It's got to have to be another major death, because this is.
I agree.
Like you said, it's Kaido, one of the 4 emperors.
I can't like if it's just Kinemon to die, I'll be happy with that.
I feel Kinemon will die. Part of me feels like he will die. I feel he will die.
I feel like he should die. I feel like when Luffy got to the roof, Kinemon should have been dead or on his last words.
I feel like Kinemon is prepared to die anyway.
I think he will die. I feel he will die anyway. He should anyway. So sooner or later. If I had it my way, I think I'd have all of the scabbards die.
Yeah, same. Well, maybe apart from what's the name? Denjiro, the one that was in disguise for a while. And the only reason is because obviously after this whole arc ends, Momo's gonna become the shogun of Wano, and the only character that knows one of the best is Denjiro. I might be saying his name wrong, and it only makes sense for him to end up being an advisor or something like that. Yeah, well, I guess we'll just see what happens next. Do you guys have any last words to add?
It was a solid chapter, to be fair, and I've been enjoying the last few chapters.
Yeah.
Others been coming out of great chapter to great chapter, to be honest.
I agree with Ponle. But I do expect to see some sort of despair on Luffy's side very soon.
Yeah,
I feel like things have been going their way for a bit too
well.
Long.
They're going too well. I need to see something
they haven't been taking
bad to happen.
Yeah, and to have people of the caliber of Big Mom and Kaido fighting you simultaneously, something's got to
really something really has to give, because I don't think with them two together they shouldn't really be faring as. Even though this new generation, that worst generation, they shouldn't be. There's still two emperors. Not even just one. It's 2 emperors. One emperor is enough that you'd expect to have 5 people take on and struggle.
Even on the back of Chris's point earlier, saying that Oda showing us that these yonkos can be vulnerable, and again, just human. It could just be another setup of, it looks like things are going great. And then it's like, nope, we're yonkers end of the day. And then they switch the whole thing up, and then something crazy will happen. There's obviously this all theory out there how this arc is set up. I don't know what the Japanese name is for it, but they have like specific way to tell stories, and how this is separated in 5 different acts. And the end of the 3rd act is always tragedy, for the protagonist. So there's a theory out there that at the end of this act, there is going to be a major tragedy, and that eventually will happen soon.
It's a common phenomenon in screenwriting and script writing. I can't remember what it's called, but you build up something, you give someone a task, they do it, they start to grow, then you put an obstacle in front of them, then you put them in a position where it's like they can't overcome it. And I feel like that's the stage we're going to get to next before they can finally grow, learn the lesson they need to learn in order to defeat the obstacle that's in front of them. So there's something that they need to learn, especially the three of them, of these guys from the Worst Generation. There's something they need to learn in order to overcome Kaido and Big Mom. And what that is yet, I'm not sure, but I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah.
I think that'll be it for this week's One Piece Weekly. Big up to Ponlet and Chris for taking part, reviewing another One Piece chapter, and we'll be seeing you guys again next week as we do have consistent One Piece chapters this time around. Speak to you guys soon.
Peace.
Sweet peace.